Hey mom, you've just turned 60 and I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for everything you've done over the years, from raising 4 girls by yourself, seeing us through primary school, secondary school, straight through to university, and your continued support even until now. I just want to wish you the best of birthdays, and I can't think of anyone more deserving than you are. From working 2 jobs to fighting our battles, and still fighting our battles even right now. So I just want to thank you for that, and hope you have a fantastic day, and I pray that you will definitely reap the fruit of all your labors in Jesus' name. Happy birthday, mommy. Love you.
My name is Peter Ogenan. We are celebrating a very important person, a mother, a wife, a community leader, a virtuous woman, the mother of Olubunmi Salako, Miss Nigerian Ireland 2009. Today, we are celebrating her 60th birthday. Mrs. Olubunmi Salako is a community leader. I have known Mrs. Olubunmi Salako since 2009 when Emanuela contested Miss Nigerian Ireland. And since then, she has been a true friend, a friend in need. Since 2008, when I started organizing Miss Nigerian Ireland, I've come across a lot of parents. And Mrs. Olubunmi Salako happens to be one of those parents. But there's one thing I can tell you. Mrs. Olubunmi Salako stands out. She has been a pillar. She has been a supporter. And she has been a true friend of Miss Nigerian Ireland organization. Today, on behalf of the Miss Nigerian Ireland organization, I want to wish the birthday girl the very best of luck and many, many years on earth. And I want to ask her and wish her that she age with grace as she is already doing. I want to tell you something about Mrs. Olubunmi Salako. When Emanuela Salako contested Miss Nigerian Ireland and won, Mrs. Olubunmi Salako, right from the very first day, showed us that she loved her daughter and that she was happy with the organization, and that what she wanted to do was to be the change that she wanted to see in the society and in Miss Nigerian Ireland organization. She supported Miss Nigerian Ireland organization in her own way, and she supported her daughter as any true parent would do. In supporting her daughter, it became an opportunity for her to send a message to the organization, to her daughter, and to the society. That is support, that the love that I have for you as a mom must come with humility. It must come with humbleness. It must come with truth. And it must come with integrity and hard work. And she pushed her daughter to do the best. There were times when youthful exuberance would come in between the organization and the daughter, Emanuela. But I remember how Mrs. Olubunmi Salako, the birthday girl, would solve the situation. She would call me and ask me, what is the problem? And then she would tell the daughter, go and do what you are asked to do. And for that, Emanuela to date remains one of the best queens we have had as Miss Nigerian Island organization. And for that, we are grateful to you. And for that, we say thank you. And for that, we say we love you. And for that, we say happy 60th birthday celebration. And as we are getting ready to celebrate Mrs. Olubunmi Salako, Parrot Show took a trip to Dundalk. A trip to find and parley with the birthday girl. It was most important to parley with her because it was an opportunity to tap from her abundance of wisdom. And I can tell you, she did not disappoint us. We started by asking the birthday girl what it means and how it feels to be 60.
Well, it means the world to me. I thank God for the opportunity of clocking 60. When I look back, I think I have every cause to thank God because of the challenges that is associated to motherhood. It is not an easy thing, especially at a time that I had to handle my children all by myself. But I thank God that everything, has actually, it's coming together. I won't say they are together yet. Everything is coming together. And I thank God for where I was and where I am today. Because God has helped me to raise the children to the point that I can say, well, I'm traveling out of the country without having to look back and say, oh, maybe I'm concerned about them or I'm worried about them.
And the birthday girl is thankful to the Almighty God who has given her a wonderful family to be proud of.
God has given me 4 beautiful girls and a wonderful husband. So God is my strength.
She is even more satisfied of the stage they are now, the joy of every parent raising children.
They are grown up and I thank God they are all working. They all graduated, some with master's degree. So, and they all have their paying jobs that they are at. So I thank God for that. I don't need to say, oh, I want to give money to one or the other. They are all settled job-wise.
However, she would not consider herself to be an achiever until the joy of every parent, to be grandparents, comes knocking at her door.
Until I start seeing my children's children, that is when I'll say, well, and I see them impact what I've impacted in them, in their own children. That is when I can say, yes, I have actually achieved. Because I want to see the impact of what they received on their children as well.
Did the birthday girl learn the art of motherhood from her mom?
There's no daughter that will say, she has not learned one thing or the other, especially being the first daughter in my family. I saw my mom bringing up my brothers, my only sister, and I will always help her in doing, things around the house, washing clothes for the baby and all that. And I remember that our only sister, my mom's only sister, lived with us at some point, and she was having babies as well. And I was helping to take care of, her babies. And I even had one of them living with me when I got married. So, it's something that I grew up into, and I know how to go about, because I was helping with feeding, washing the clothes, making the milk and all that. And when a baby cries, I know how to pet them to sleep and all. So it's something that, has been part of me growing up.
And on Eve, the training for her mom has helped her to be who she is today.
Oh, yes. I even remembered that at a point, with the kind of chores that I was doing in the house, I had to ask my father if exactly the woman in the house was my mom, because I thought I was being overused. Surprisingly, I was in the boarding house, but whenever I came home then, I would have had so much that I would do. Dirty clothes would be waiting. I wouldn't have finished washing that. I'll be ironing. They'll be piling some, again. I would do the cooking. Because I'm the eldest daughter in the house. I have, brothers. And my only sister was a baby. So I was the one doing everything in the house. So then I was so bitter. I was thinking my mom was using me to train the others. And I would cry, go to my dad to ask questions. He would just be laughing. He would be telling me, she's your mom. She's training you. And I remember when I was over 50, I was here in Ireland. I placed a call to my mom on Mother's Day to thank her. When I looked at my life, I saw the training that she had given me while growing up. And I see that it's paying for me. Because I looked at myself then, I said, if there's 1,000 people waiting for me to serve them, I'll do it without looking back. And I will not be tired. That is how strong, I have been from her training. And I'm really thankful to her.
Has she been able to impact the values she learned from her mom on her children?
I wouldn't say they're the same thing, but they are close. The training, my training, their training, is very close. Because when I look at all my children, you'll see that they are hard workers. They are hard workers. They never get tired unless they've achieved what they want to achieve. And I believe they saw that in me. They saw the way, I was going, even while they were small. They saw the way I handle things. And they can't just sit back and say they want to relax when they've not achieved what they have to achieve. I train them to cook. I train them to make home. I train them to respect elders. I train them in all aspects. And I sometimes tell them, my house is the second Nigerian embassy in Ireland. So they know that I'm an African woman to the core. I don't, compromise when it comes to training of children. I cannot stand unruly children around me or disobedient children. I know I can't have it all, but I tried my best to make sure that I always tell them. Even now, whenever they do anything that I think is not acceptable, I still tell them. Because there's no way the Western culture will not creep into it. So whenever I see the Western culture that is not acceptable in our culture, I always say to them that you can't do this with an African mother-in-law. You can't do this with an African husband. I always say it.
How well has she been able to manage the clash of cultures?
Yeah, you take the values in the two cultures and you merge it. And that is what I've done coming into Ireland. It has been very positive. It has been positive. I remember when I newly arrived in Ireland and there was trouble about discipline of children, especially among the African society, and particularly Nigerians. The first thing I did was to go for parenting course here, because I wouldn't want to do anything that would be against the law, where any of my children would be taken into care, because that was the in thing then. So when I saw the way they were parenting, I took the positive ones and I merged it with mine. And with God's help, it has worked so far.
Her children take their turn to celebrate her now.
They love me and they compete to place me, to make sure that I'm happy.
And now that the children are grown up, which of them is she closer to?
When I was here with them in Ireland, I'll say I'll hang around Emanuela more. The reason being that I always do bookkeeping for her at her studio. And that would be 3 times a week. So whenever I came back from work then, I'll make sure that I go to the studio and we will see for, for hours before I close. Normally I will leave her there, but I spend 3 hours there with her 3 times a week. And because it's outside the home, we are sort of closer together. And she will ask for, advice on so many things that I'll give to her. But now that, I was going in and out of the country, well, 2 of them are out in Dublin, so I hardly see those 2, unless I go visiting or they came in for weekend or something. I'll see Cynthia in the evening because it gets out 7 a.m. in the morning to work in Dublin. And I'll still say Emanuela because she will come in and out and I'll be here. So, because she works locally, so I'll see her more than the others.
In college, in my final year, I found it really, really stressful. It's the usual to be stressful. But I remember calling my mom all the time, and I was really struggling, because I had to hand in my thesis and do a lot of final projects. But just calling her, she always made me feel good, and she always assured me that everything would be okay. Even though at the moment I was just kind of oh, will this ever end? But she has this warmth about the words that she gave me, just kind of calmed me in the moment.